All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. I know, I'm a bit earlier than usual. I got a lot of things to do, so I figured let me come to you guys a little bit early with the show. I hope you guys are all well. I do realize that I'm pitting myself alongside the conglomerate that is Arsenal Fan TV. If you're watching this live, thank you for sticking with me. Please do me a favor, stick a like on that video if you haven't done so already, and let's see how we go. And I'll try and take you through the show as best as possible. I appreciate it, Liverpool. You never walk alone. Much love for the support. Gunnar Dread, I see you. Samuel, I see you. Melina, I see you, and Jahid, I see you. All right, much love, guys. Let's see if we can go through some of the stories. Let's talk about Alexandre Lacazette. Alexandre Lacazette has been a big. Oh, by the way, a little bit of housekeeping. My dog is right next to me. She has the um, unpredictability of wanting to be on camera, making a lot of noise. Apologies if she makes noise. It's just gonna some of you guys are gonna have to deal with. So apologies. All right, let's get going. Let's talk about Alexandre Lacazette. Alexandre Lacazette is been the subject of a lot of speculation in terms of a move. I mentioned him yesterday as being part of the party deal. Obviously, it came out last night that Party is quite keen on a move to Arsenal. And, you guys noticed my reaction to that story yesterday wasn't one of surprise. Um, the reason being was that I'd always understood from last summer that he was quite keen on coming to Arsenal. And then we obviously heard rumours from his dad. Arsenal are a pretty big deal when it comes to being in Africa. So from his perspective, I can understand why. I know to the general football world, people are like, why would you leave Atletico Madrid for Arsenal? But I think from his perspective, he wants to come to the Premier League. He's got a game that would suit the Premier League. And he sees Arsenal as an ideal step forward. I would love Thomas Partey. You guys know this. I rate him quite highly. I think he's such a good all-round player. And I think someone that I think would make an immediate impact in the team. Arsenal, quite frankly, are skint. They don't have money. So we've been told very recently that in order for us to drag deals over in the summer, we're going to have to be creative. We're going to have to be inventive. We're going to have to almost write our own formula to dragging some of these deals over the line. Thomas Partey being one of them. They have essentially a signing we want. We have a signing they want, and that is Alexandre Lacazette. He is someone that they are interested in. For anyone who doesn't know, Atletico Madrid were on the verge of signing him prior to Lacazette actually coming to Arsenal. And then Atletico Madrid received a ban. And Lacazette had already kind of made it clear that he was done at Lyon. And then Arsenal came along, and the rest is history. So it's kind of almost it's come full circle now that Lacazette is now being linked with a move back to Atletico Madrid. And it'll be interesting to see if you guys think this will be a good move for him. And that was the question that I asked you yesterday. Today, things have slightly taken a different turn. His agency, which I have completely closed down the window and forgotten what they're called. Basically, they came out on Twitter and they basically said, Twitter is a magical place. It's not good to lie to the Atletico fans. And that was in response to the story. And then Alexandre Lacazette quote tweeted it and said it's all lies. And then put a Pinocchio emoji on his Twitter page. In my opinion, and this is probably my opinion, I don't necessarily think this is his way of saying he's happy at Arsenal per se. I just feel like it's sensible from him, particularly while the season's ongoing, for him to just distance himself a little bit from that move, particularly until he knows that something is happening. And my understanding with the Thomas Partey one is that Atletico Madrid always wanted money. They need money. They're one of the teams where this pandemic in particular is going to affect them quite badly. Yes, it's affecting us pretty badly as well. But there are rumours that came out this afternoon that us, along with a lot of Premier League teams, may lose as much as 100 million, particularly if the season finishes behind closed doors. So don't get me wrong, it's affecting everybody, but obviously it's affecting certain teams more than others. Atletico Madrid being one of them. They always it's funny because despite their success, people don't realize actually every season they seem to sell a star. Like they seem to sell somebody. They would have loved to have sold Party for a lot more than they're potentially going to get for him. 45 million for Arsenal. Trust Arsenal. Arsenal, they're still trying to find a way of making that deal cheaper. But my understanding is that Arteta has seeked him as his number one priority. Party obviously wants to come. I think that's, in a lot of ways, the hardest battle. Now it's up to Raul to make the deal happen. Because that's just the way it is. If the player wants to come to us, the manager wants the player, this is Raul's job now to make it happen. So he's going to have to be creative, maybe structure the deal in a clever way that is appealing to Atletico Madrid. But it doesn't look like they're going to have Lacazette necessarily as that bargain chip. And maybe it could be just the case that Lacazette is waiting to see what happens with Aubameyang before making a decision one way or another. It would not surprise me if that was the case. So when I saw that kind of denial today, I didn't think to myself, oh, that's Lacazette saying that he's happy at Arsenal. I just think that was him just actually being quite clever, doing what I would advise him to do. Just call the speculation, just chill for a second, and then let's see what happens and reevaluate. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree? I said this yesterday. I still quite like Lacazette as a player. I'm not quite where Troops is. Brother, I love you, but you're smoking bone if you think that Firmino is a worse player than Lacazette. I love you, brother. No. Firmino is, for me, such a fantastic player. I would love him in the Arsenal team. And I think he's one of them players that if he played for Arsenal, mark my words, Troops would love him. I think he's just one of them type of players where you don't necessarily notice what he does unless you watch him week in, week out. And I know a lot of people have asked me what I thought about Troops. Listen, Troops is my boy. He comes out with a lot of wild statements. but I don't necessarily agree with that one. But, for me, I don't hate Lacazette. He's had a bad season. Absolutely. I don't think he's a terrible player. That's just my opinion. Would I sell him if we had an opportunity to make our situation better, and that would be helped by his sale? Then so be it. If he stays, I don't think that's a disaster. I think he's going to have to buck up his ideas because this season was not good enough. So let's see what happens. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What else was we going to talk about? Oh, the other half is back early. That's interesting. Huh. And the dog has gone to investigate. Gabriel. So Gabriel is obviously a player that we've been linked with before from Lille. Very, very good player. Plays for Lille's defensive target. Sorry if you hear my dog crying. This is just what she does. She's noticed that my missus is back, just drove in, so now she's just gone nuts. So apologies. Gosh. So yeah. So Gabriel is a defensive centre-back player. He's a player in which apparently Arteta has made him a number one defensive target above the Upamecano signing. So that I do find quite interesting. We'll see how that one plays out. From my perspective, I think it's clever that we are actually looking at other defensive targets. I still have my doubts. I still think that we will settle for... sorry, my missus just walked in. I'm like, what time is this? This is like 2 hours before you said... She's trying to catch me out. Keep telling her. I've got my side chicks coming in. She's trying to catch me out. She's trying to catch me out. So I think I've just still got a feeling that Mari's going to be that guy, and Mari's going to be the guy that they essentially focus on. Uh, no, not that Gabriel. I can't pronounce his last name. Don't make me pronounce his last name. His name is Gabriel Magalhanos. I've butchered the crap out of that. But yes, he's a 22-year-old from Lille. He's not the Gabriel we had before. He's another Gabriel. So yeah, let's see what happens. From my perspective, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Clearly, that Gabriel is looking for a big move. He wants someone that supposedly Everton were on the verge of signing him, and he was holding out for a Chelsea or Arsenal move. We obviously need a centre back. Someone Arteta is very keen on putting someone next to Saliba with a little bit of experience, but is in a similar sort of age bracket. Gabriel ticks that bar. I know people rate him very highly, particularly in the Liga 1. So let's see where it goes. 30 million is the price that Lille are quoting, which is interesting because Everton offered 30 million plus 5 million add-ons, which was accepted by Lille. But like I said, the player's a bit hesitant about joining Everton. But what do you guys think? Is this the player that you would say is the ideal player to play alongside Saliba? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Strolling along, Fekir. Okay, so I've heard some conflicting stories about this, I must admit. But this is where I'm up to with the Fekir story. So as some of you guys know, Fekir has been a player that's been linked with us for about 3-4 years. He looked set to join Liverpool about 2 years ago. Liverpool freaked out. I don't know what they saw in that scan, but they freaked out at the most 11th hour you can manage to freak out on a last minute signing. They did that. They were kind of like, okay, well, I think Fekir again stayed at Lyon for a season, and then he left to go to Real Betis. Gone to Betis, and he's doing his thing. He's not tearing up trees or anything, but let me tell you, he's performing a lot better than certain number 10s we know. so he's doing this thing, and obviously he's being linked with moves. A lot of Premier League teams are interested in him. Chelsea, because Chelsea seems to be linked with every single player we're linked with. Arsenal are heavily being linked to them because they know the history we've had with Fekir. Fekir himself has said, listen, I don't want to leave Betis. The only circumstance that I want to leave Betis is if Barcelona or Real Madrid come in for me. So that's where he is at the moment. That's where he's at in his mindset. Situation has slightly changed from a club perspective. The club are looking for money at the end of the day. Again, just like every club, this pandemic is going to affect them. They know Premier League clubs have more money than most. So what they're saying is, listen, if we get 44 million, which I think is about 50 million euros, you're going to have Fekir. From my perspective, listen, I like Fekir as a player. I like him more than most. The knee injury did put me off him, but prior to that, if you saw me banging on, you'd think it's Thomas Partey or Zayet. I liked him on that type of level. I still think he's a very good technical player. Between Awua and him, they made Lacazette play ball. Those two guys in particular made Lacazette click. I would say less Awua, to be fair, because Awua was quite young. But Fekir in particular made Lacazette tick. So I was always very keen on him coming to the club for that reason. In any case, we're obviously looking at potentially number 10s, and I will talk about that some more, in a while, because obviously I did listen to Kevin Campbell's comments about two players, which are kind of like obvious two players that, of course, we would want the club to buy, but I don't think we have any chance of actually buying them. But yeah, I think for me with the Fekir one, I think we should give it a pass. I like the guy a lot, but I just think from my perspective, 44 million for a 26-year-old with a dodgy knee don't make a lot of sense for me. So, in my opinion, I don't know about all that. Zyg is overrated. Oh, okay. Someone else is. Oh, okay. I'm half following you guys in the chat room. See how this is why I don't look at the chat room. They distract me. All right. Again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about this Grealish stroke Maddison situation. Jack Grealish is someone who, on and off, has been linked to pretty much every decent Premier League team. So, which means I don't know why he's been linked with Arsenal, to be quite perfectly honest. But yes, Kevin Campbell came out with an interview and said, listen, in order to replace Mesut Ozil, we need to replace him with a Jack Grealish or with a Jack Grealish or a James Maddison. I'll be honest, right? This is just my opinion and my perspective. I always take English pundits, and I love KC, don't get me wrong. I always take English pundits with a little bit of salt when it comes to transfer targets. Because if you notice, in situations like this, they will always boost the English manager, the English player, and it's just like, do you actually think that A, Arsenal can afford any of those two, never mind both of those two? And B, are you being on, like, do you think with everything that's going on, that's even in Arsenal's realm of possibility? Because, and I love KC, don't get me wrong, this is no shots at KC. Because at some point I want this brother on my show, so I ain't trying to burn no bridges. But I have to be honest, like, it feels like when I heard him speak, I was like, you're talking your heart because you're not talking with logic. Because where is Arsenal going to find 70 million plus for Jack Grealish? Then another what? Maybe 70 million plus for James Maddison? Not to mention, if you're James Maddison, why the heck would you leave Leicester to come to Arsenal? You know? So I feel like sometimes with these English pundits, you've always got to take it with a bit of a salt sometimes in terms of what they're saying. But in my opinion, yeah, of course, you guys know me and Lee fall out today over arguments over Jack Grealish because I think he'd give us so much in the team. And I must admit, I was one that was not a Jack Grealish lover by any stretch of the imagination. I was not a Jack Grealish fan. But I must admit, what I've seen over the last 18 months, you can play a couple of 2-3 different positions. And I think he has a lot about him, a lot of guile. He's Premier League proven. He's a decent set piece taker. Arguably a bit of a leader in the middle of the park. Demands the ball, can influence play. I like him. To me, he does everything Granit Xhaka does better. And that's the main reason that I would have him. But again, what do you guys think? Because 70 million is a lot, boy. I ain't going to lie. I'm not sure I spend 70 million on the kid. And I like him. But 70 million is a lot of money. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I think I pretty much covered everything. Let's talk about Arteta's interview. So Mikel Arteta came out today, had a little quick interview for Ian Wright. Ian Wright, I think, was interviewing on the behalf of Adidas. Obviously, Adidas is our sponsor. Makes a lot of sense. So Mikel Arteta came on. They were just, talking about, the situation that's happening at the moment. And then it obviously came to transfer targets. And basically what Mikel Arteta has said is that, listen, I don't want to have to convince anyone to stay or anyone to join Arsenal. I find that strange because supposedly he's convinced Granit Xhaka to stay and a couple of others, but I'm like, okay. So he said that he feels like every time he does that he asks himself why he should have to do that. That it's Arsenal, we're a big club, we should be able to attract anyone. And that he said that regardless of what happens, which of the plans that he has to, use, because you remember he has 3 transfer plans. what he wants and what he's determined to do is bring players that want to play for the club. I'm going to be honest. What I'm next going to say is not popular. Having said that, this is just my opinion. It's not set to trigger anyone. And quite honestly, past the debate on here, it's not meant to be anything major. So I know people, I'm going to say that now because I know people like getting carried away when I say stuff like this. I feel like Mikel Arteta is very good at saying what you want to hear. Because it's like, well, from my perspective, well, yeah, of course, I want to sign somebody who wants to play for the club. I want to sign somebody. I of course, don't want Mikel Arteta to try and convince somebody to stay if they don't want to stay, or come if they don't want to come. So yeah, of course, but like to me, I feel like I'm gonna lie. I don't want to. Like I say, I'm not quite writing this guy off. Yes, I didn't want him at the club initially. Nothing against the guy personally. I just figure, to me, I still feel it's an irresponsible decision for someone so inexperienced to manage the club. I'd be lying if I said he's not doing a little bit better than I thought he would do. I still don't think he's pulling up trees, but I will accept that he is improving certain players. And I'm still prepared to give him time before I start saying anything too wild like Arteta out or whatever. But in my view, I feel like I can't help this car salesman approach with him where he almost tells you what you want to hear as opposed to actually doing them. I remember, and it's the start of his last press conference, he was talking about the fact that people won't be in the team on reputation and everyone has to work hard. And you look at things like Mesut Ozil and you remember those words and you're like, yeah, yeah. And now you're coming to this where he's saying to us now that, well, he only wants to buy people that want to play for the badge. And obviously, as fans, we're a sucker for that type of line because we all feel the same. We all feel the same. We all want players that want to play for the badge and that. I just feel like when I was listening to him, I thought in my mind, I'm like, just do it, you know. Don't tell us what we want to hear. Do what you're saying you want to do. Actually, go and get players like Thomas Partey. This guy is not costing an arm and a leg. And don't get me wrong, I'm more understanding of the financial situation that we're in. You can't tell me that we can't raise 45 million. You can't convince me of that. 45 million, let's go and get ourselves an elite player. This is an elite player who, for some dumb reason, actually wants to join. I don't want this to be another Kante situation. Because for some reason, in France and in Africa, we still have pull. so for that reason, let's just go and secure these players. If Thomas Partey actually wants to come, let's go get him. So that's just my opinion on this. Again, what do you guys think? Is this a player you think we can get? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. One more story I wanted to talk about, and that's Dominik Szoboszlai. I always butcher that name. And I feel like I can say it. That's another thing. He is the 19-year-old Dane that plays for Red Bull Salzburg. Excellent player. Technically very, very good. Very, very confident player. Can play left wing, but he's more of a central midfielder. So good. Almost a Santi type. Very, very technical. And definitely one of the hottest properties in Europe at the moment. And for some reason, his club, Red Bull Salzburg, they don't want much for him. They want 20 million euros, which on the one hand, you might sit there and say, oh, well, 20 million euros for an unproven player. Oh, back up. I know you've been eyeing that shit all day. Come here. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. I tell you my dog's a nuisance. There you go. Just sit. Good girl. Sorry, guys. So yeah, he's an excellent player. a player who I feel like is going to. Oh, thank you. Cheers, guys. A player who I feel like is going to pull up some trees. Actually, what is happening with him at the moment is that Inter Milan are on his case, and they've just offered 50 million euros for him. He's a player that I like a lot, and I feel will do bits. But do you think Arsenal will be quick enough in order to be able to secure him? That's my concern. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. But he's a good player. Imagine him and Partey. Okay, I'll be like, all right, we're doing bits in the midfield. I think you do worry for someone like Guendouzi if we were to buy a Szoboszlai. Mind you, Szoboszlai is like 15 times. Sorry, I'm like playing fetch at the same time. Szoboszlai is like 10 times the player that Guendouzi is. Let's just be real. They're the same age. He's 10 times the player. And the irony is, I think we could get 20 million euros for Guendouzi. and if we were really clever, we could probably put a little sneaky clause in there as well. I'll tell you what, talk about pressing the upgrade button if you were to get Szoboszlai over Guendouzi. But what would you guys do? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. A lot of teams like him, but I think he could be very, very good. He kind of, to be honest, he kind of reminds me of Awuah. And you guys know I like that Awuah kid. He plays for Lyon, central midfielder. He kind of plays like him for me. Funny enough, Dominik Szoboszlai was interviewed the other day, and he was asked, "What is your style? What kind of style would you describe? Like, what if you had to describe to people what you play like? What would you say your style is?" He said he feels like he's the next Toni Kroos. I was like, okay, all right. No, okay, this guy ain't shy. He's very, very confident. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. All right, when I come into the chat room, please do stick a like on this video if you haven't already. You like squads. My like squad smashed it in my last show. Absolutely annihilated it. And it helps get people out. And, you know, view-wise, it wasn't crazy, but subscriber-wise, was amazing. So first and foremost, thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined. I hope you guys are enjoying it. So many things are happening with the show. I do this every single day, dropping at least one show. One of the things that I'm talking to the other half about is doing some shows for my members section. Yes, I will be getting a members section very shortly. Just working on a little bits and bobs for that. You guys seem to like my cooking section, so I want to put that on the members section. I also want to put some FIFA streams on the members section. My headset finally arrived, so I can do that now. So all these things will be going into the member section. So I'll be giving you maybe 2 or 3 shows per month, 3-4 shows per month of FIFA streams and cooking stuff. So hopefully you guys will feel like it's worthwhile and enjoyable. And I might even do a show, just a general show with one of you guys. I know you guys always ask me, oh, is it possible to get on your show one day? I'm always wary because you never know. You know, you never know. There'll be someone that pretending they're a girl that turns out they're a dude, and then you're trying to left explaining to the rest of the audience. Whereas for me, I just want to, you know, I just want to bring trusted people on. And I might do that on the members stream as well. So it is going to be an evolving thing. I've got plenty of ideas for it. So I'll make sure it's worthwhile. Also, just another quick plug before I come into the chat. You guys know what we do by now. We have 2 other YouTube channels, one of which is Chick Flicks. I dropped 5 reviews on there the other day. I was supposed to drop 2 reviews over the weekend. Haven't managed to do that. We'll be doing that tomorrow. I will guarantee it. 2 will drop tomorrow. So make sure you look out for that. The Combat Show every single Friday, live, 9:30. We talk UFC, we talk boxing. So anyone that's going to ask me a UST question, I want to answer on here. Go to the Combat Show. Make sure you tune in. We'll be breaking down the 249 card that is happening somehow on Saturday. Dana is a crazy bastard, but he is somehow making this thing happen on Saturday. We'll be breaking down that card on Friday and just talking, talking UFC. So make sure you catch that. I think that's pretty much it for all my plugs, right? All right, let's go into the chat and see what you lot are saying. Lots of Hayes, lots of new names. Sting Zed, I hope you're well. Arsenal want to buy Townsend. Very good. Townsend. Tony Time bitches. Carl, yes, Chig. We know who you're talking about. I figured it out too. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? And Carl, you're a Newcastle fan. Are you excited? Are you excited? United is run badly, but if they keep Pogba, get Sancho, they'll be in a stronger position. I think they're in a stronger position now. They to me have instantly stepped up in levels. They've done very well. I really like Bruno Fernandes. I rate him very highly. And fair play to Ollie. I think he's finally starting to get a tune out of that team. For me, they're in a better position than we are, not just in the league, but actually, I think they look more solid than we do. And before someone points out to me that we've had clean sheets here and there, yeah, but have any of those clean sheets been confident? That's my question. I can now hope you're well. Ollie at the wheel. United are a few players away from challenging. Yeah, yeah. Leah, right? I'm very excited. Yes, you're right. Carl, yes, you clearly know me too well. Yes, I'm very excited. I'm hoping it finally happens. Yeah, I think you guys are still bracing yourself, like you're almost expecting it to fall through. So you're not trying to get too gassed before the deal's actually been completed. Like I think this one's happening. I think it is happening. I think you guys will unfortunately beat another team that's going to compete with the top four with us. They even beat City. What, Newcastle? Yeah, they did. That was pre. Takeover. Keeping an eye on Edu. Let's see his contacts in Brazil during this window. I think we'll be active in South America, trying to pick up Martinelli type deals. Clean sheets Europa don't count. Look at who they played. I would guess. But let me ask you something, Liam. Have you said that the way I said that, or is that genuinely the way you think his name is spelled? I feel like you're either trolling me with that spelling, or you genuinely have no idea of. Because I think it's Szboszlai, Szoboszlai. Yeah, he's a very young, passionate player who would play for the badge. Agreed. Agreed. You guessed. Fair play to you. I didn't help with the pronunciation, to be fair. So yeah. Who won Lee Gunner's quiz tonight? Gutted, I missed that. I couldn't go to that. I was still doing work till very late. But yeah, he did ask me if I wanted to go to it, but yeah, I couldn't. The Blossai. Yeah, there you go. Ben's on point. He knows how to spell. Oh, sorry, he's corrected himself now. So yeah. I don't think United is as good as people think. Their midfield defensively isn't impressive. They need strikers. Martial and Rashford aren't consistent goal scorers. Yeah, and it does worry me because they're being linked with Dembele. They're being linked with Musa Dembele. And you do feel like that's one of the final pieces that they do need to the puzzle. That's for damn sure. Party, Rocker, and Uwua would be a midfield in the midfield would be beastly. Completely agree. That'd be a great one. Um, ask me again on Friday. George always does this. Ask me again on Friday. Um, Leicester, Chelsea, Leicester, Man United will all do better than Arsenal next season. God forbid. I hope you are very wrong. I can't help but think you're right, but I hope you're very wrong. Um, Arsenal and Spurs will compete for Europa next season. What, in the final, you mean? Thank you, Melina. Big up to you. Are those three primarily defensive? Um, I believe Rocker is, I think he is. Um, Awuwa is more of a number 8, but he can play as a number 10. And Partey is a box-to-box guy, but a lot of people think he's quite defensive. What do you think we need more than anything, Chig? We need a party. We need a party. One sec, one sec. I'm literally mid-show, guys. One sec. I'll be, I'll be with you soon. I'll be, I'll be with you soon. So, so yeah. It's all happening. It's all happening. It's all happening. But yeah, so yeah, for me, party. I told you guys this before. It's the dream signing for me. So yeah, that would be who I'd want. That'd be who I'd want. Um, Chig, Liverpool won Werner and Koulibaly. Um, yeah, it does worry me. I ain't gonna lie. That worries me. It does worry me. Chig, you were right about Leah. We got clowned in a group chat on Insta. It's funny how, yeah, yeah. That's all I can say. We need a whole team. Wilson, I hope you're well. It's been a while since I've seen you, bro. I hope you're well. Tell him who figured it out. I figured it out, Carl. I figured it out. Straight up. Chelsea in the house. Party isn't going to thrive without a natural DM. So he should be partnered with Torreira. You know the worrying thing, Chelsea? He's going to be partnered by Xhaka. Let's pray for them. Let's pray for them. I slightly disagree with you though. I think he'll be fine. If he's the DM, it won't be his preferred position, but he'll be fine. All right, guys. I literally need to get up out of it. As you can see, everything's happened. I didn't even send too much to the wifey. She's come back. I've got some boys on the line that we're doing a video call. That's the only way you can talk to each other these days. So I need to get on. I need to get on and get on with a few things. I know I owe you guys an extra long show because my last two shows have been quite short. I'll make sure I'll do that tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned, keep it locked, and hopefully we'll have even more stories to talk about. Otherwise, we'll just do a straight up late night with Chi. All right, guys. I'm up out of here. Take care and look after yourself. Stay safe. Peace.